Emmerdale double exit teased as Celia and Ray set a New Year's Day deadline. Emmerdale is already laying the groundwork for a dramatic New Year twist, as villains Celia Daniels and Ray Walters appear to set their sights on a swift and decisive exit from the village in tonight's early ITVX episode. With New Year's Day fast approaching, the pair make what looks like a final, desperate plan to flee the Dales, but the escape feels far more sinister than it first appears. Rather than signaling freedom, Celia's so-called getaway feels like a tightening of her grip before everything inevitably collapses. Pressure is closing in from all sides, and cracks are beginning to show. With Moira Dingle asking increasingly awkward questions and suspicions creeping ever closer, Celia decides it is time to shut down her illegal operation on the farmland she rents from Kim Tate. More troubling still, April Wince's situation is becoming increasingly dangerous, pushing the stakes to a frightening new level. From Celia's perspective, the Dales are no longer safe territory. But when her world starts to unravel, her instinct is not to lie low or adapt, it is to run. And she intends to do so on her own terms. In tonight's episode, Celia makes it chillingly clear that Ray has no say in what happens next. Loose ends must be tied up, and quickly. The departure date is set in stone, January 1st. The moment leaves little doubt about who is really in control here, and it is certainly not Ray. Celia delivers the news while gloating over Maron Dingle's £2,000 a week payments to keep April out of the drug trade. There is something particularly cruel in the way she frames it, treating Maron's desperation as a business triumph rather than a moral low point. Her confidence is unsettling, bordering on arrogance, as if she genuinely believes she is untouchable. When Ray tentatively suggests they could afford to stay longer, especially while the money is flowing so effortlessly, Celia shuts him down without hesitation. It is a telling moment, exposing just how little his opinion now matters to her. Celia is no longer thinking in terms of short-term profit. She is thinking in terms of power. Even more disturbing is her revelation that she has no intention of letting April go. Instead, she plans to take the teenager with him, using distance as yet another weapon to ensure Maron keeps paying. It is cold, calculated, and deeply unsettling. By this point, it becomes painfully clear that Celia no longer sees April as a person, only as leverage. All of this unfolds as Ray himself begins to waver. His growing bond with Laurel Thomas has opened his eyes to the possibility of a normal life, something he has never truly allowed himself to imagine. That contrast feels crucial. On one side, Celia offers control through fear and manipulation. On the other, Laurel represents warmth, stability, and choice. The question, then, is no longer simply whether Celia and Ray will leave the village. It is whether Ray will leave with her. Will he sacrifice his chance at happiness to remain loyal to the woman who raised, and continues to control, him? Or will he finally find the courage to break away? And if he does, how far will Celia go to stop him? With the net closing in and a New Year deadline looming, this feels like the beginning of the end. Whether that end comes through escape, exposure, or betrayal remains to be seen. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear: Celia's supreme confidence may yet prove to be her most fatal mistake.